Hey sports fans, Coach Nick here, and welcome to B-Ball Breakdown. It's a big day today as the regular season is finally upon us. And wow, do we have a game, Boston versus Miami. I will be sure to break that down tomorrow. But before I do that, I wanted to show you a couple of teams that have caught my eye and give you my predictions for how they'll fare during the year. The first team is the Sacramento Kings. And let's make no mistake, everything revolves around Tyreke Evans. Evans is explosive as the reigning Rookie of the Year. He got to the basket anytime he wanted and pretty much had carte blanche to shoot whatever shot he liked. He didn't have enough assists, and that's a problem. However, his team is better this year, so I expect that number to go up. His jump shot is a problem. As you see here, his elbow bends way too much on that shot and it becomes like a slingshot. The next major piece to the puzzle is Landry. He came over from the Houston Rockets and really helped out. He's a tough, if slightly undersized forward who can rebound and can score and do everything you need to do to win games. I expect his numbers to go nothing but up. You can hear my interview with Pete Carrill talking about DeMarcus Cousins, but we all know he's an extremely talented post scorer who can put his back to the basket and get a shot or step out and hit a nice jump shot. He's also a terrific passer, so he'll be a bright star. Looking at this lineup, I think that the Kings will have a slow start because they shouldn't have Udrih starting at point guard. Tyreke Evans is going to dominate the ball either way, so slide Francisco Garcia over to shooting guard, let Landry play small forward, and then you can start Jason Thompson, another rising young player at power forward. He's big, he's active, and he has a really nice touch down low. I expect his numbers to go through the roof, and he'll average at least 10 boards a game. Once Paul Westphal figures out the correct starting lineup, at least in my eyes, I think that they'll go pretty far, having no trouble getting to the playoffs, and perhaps even getting that 5th or 6th spot. Now, Francisco Garcia is a really terrific player who I think was going to have a breakout year. Then you throw some nice talented role players like Beno Udrih, you have Omri Caspi, you go Samuel Dalembert off the bench, even Luther Head, who's a tough guy who can play some defense, and now you really got something. On the flip side, the New Orleans Hornets will probably not be so fortunate. Chris Paul is ready to regain his throne as the top point guard in the league, provided his knees recovered. However, he is going to be impatient about winning, and if this team doesn't start out well off the gate, he will be traded by mid-season. One of the other bright spots of the lineup is David West, a tough low-post scorer who can also step out and shoot the J. He's not that strong defensively and will ultimately get nullified by bigger power forwards that guard him. So they're going to have their work cut out for them to continue to compete against the better Western Conference teams. As part of an offseason trade, they got rid of Darren Collison and brought in Trevor Ariza. I'm not so sure that's a positive thing because Darren Collison was terrific in the second half of the year, while Trevor Ariza is a solid player. He's not a scorer. He can play some defense, but ultimately isn't the guy who's going to come in here and save the day. I will say that Bellinelli is a nice bit of insurance in case Stojakovic goes down again. There is a wild card here, and that's Marcus Thornton, because he could actually have a very good year. I saw him with the Clippers and was always impressed by his aggressiveness and his ability to score. With a healthy Chris Paul, he could continue to rise and score better and shoot better. That might be a saving grace to keep them afloat in the Western Conference. The only other player of note is Emeka Okafor, who's averaged 13 and 10 for his career, which is pretty good, except for the fact that he was drafted second behind Dwight Howard, so people have viewed him as a bust. There is simply a talent deficit for the Hornets, and they cannot compete in the ultra-competitive Western Conference. So I suspect that Chris Paul will be traded by the midpoint of the season, and most definitely to an Eastern Conference team. That said, I'm extremely excited about this season. There's a lot of intrigue and a lot of talented teams to break down, and I have a new thing for you guys this year. On my Twitter account at BBALLSource, you'll be able to pick the 2 games I'm going to break down each week. So make sure you sign up and follow me there at Twitter at BBALLSource, and follow us on Facebook as well at BBALLBREAKDOWN. And we'll have an exciting experience. We're going to continue to grow this, and I promise to make this a memorable year for B-Ball Breakdown. Because don't forget, it's not a channel, it's a conversation.